Hi, Matt here from Crooks Cabinet Makers. So I've been working on a project in Birch Ply. Some people call it engineering ply or birch face ply, but it's actually a project I've been looking forward to for a really long time, and it's an idea that I've actually had myself for many years about building the kitchen using plyboard and rather than chipboard products. You know, usually in the building trade we often sign our work, and you'll know that because when you're actually working on a building, sometimes you'll come across a piece of wood that's been built in there and you're taking it out to refurb, and you'll find somebody's written their name on there and a date, and it's always quite interesting. So what I'm going to do with the kitchen is I'm going to write my name on there, my date, and the link to the YouTube channel, so guys in the future, when they do rip it out, they'll be able to see the actual build take place, which I think will be kind of fascinating for them. So the first stage of the game after the drawings is to load up the CNC machine and let it do its work. You can do the same on a dimension saw or even with a track saw, but the accuracy level and the economy of time, you just can't beat CNC machine. It's so easy. So now I've got to sand up those parts. So I'll take the front edge, clean it up. Doesn't take much effort with the CNC cut. And now run a small round over bead on the front edge. That's just to tidy things up. On the rest of the components, I just take the arris off because we need to match the sides. We need to make everything fit nice and square. And you can't really do that if you've got a round over. It's much neater if you have just the arises taken off. So with the sanding, I'm using a mesh disc, a 150 grit. And it looks like I've got a lot of pressure on the sander, but actually all I'm doing is holding it, guaranteeing that it's flat, so there won't be any sanding marks that show through later. But those mesh discs are really good. You can see there's almost zero dust. So the parts are back now and they're ready to go. They're being sprayed, polyurethane. And there we go, assembly time. So just a little double check that I've got the right piece there. And then check, use my fingers to check. You know, you can feel the floor. If there's any flaws, you can feel it before you can see it sometimes. But of course I use both visual and feel inspection. So drill and screw these components into the side, and then I use my fingers to check the flush. But right now, just set the adjustable square so I know where I've got to put the back piece. As you can see, we've got a recess piece there for the back to sit into. So set the clamp. So I've got something to butt up against. And then I just use my fingers to feel the edge to make sure it's flush. I'm drilling through with 2.5mm drill bit, and I'm drilling with I'm fixing using 4x40 screws. So that should give me just enough bite without risking splitting anything. This birch face ply is ridiculously tough, so actually take advantage of that and pop a few extra screws in there. So I've got 3 screws in these top battens. So now I'm going to fit the other side. Usually I'll fit the back But I'll fit the other side on this one because there's no support at the back on one point. So just turn it on its side, use my fingers to flush it up. You can see the other hand there, it's just pinching it and holding it flush while I drill through. Now I only need to fix one screw initially. So I'm still keeping that flush from my fingers when I'm doing it. I've checked it. And then keep it flush and screw it up. So rather than turn the unit round and work from the same side, I'll just work from the other side of the bench. My reason for that is I don't want to be sliding that unit over the blanket in case there's anything on the blanket that could scratch the unit. The fella in the background, that's my boss / mate. He's a really good guy, and he's the guy who programs all of this stuff into the CNC machine. So he draws it, programs it. It's you know, that in itself is a masterclass of woodworking. But that's the good thing about CNC, you can literally draw it exactly and then produce it exactly. So in a way it does actually, you have to up your game as a chippy or as a carpenter, cabinet maker. If you do anything wrong, that CNC machine will show you up. So just finishing up here. So just mark out where I'm going to put the feet on the front there, and what I do is I cover the side panel with that as well. So, you know, when you're using knockdown fittings or screwing together, it's important that they sort of interlock and cover each other. So all the pressure and all the stress is sort of transferred throughout the build rather than just onto one point. So now you'll see I'm going and picking up another 4 screws to fit the other one. You know, the box of screws is well away from what I'm doing, and the actual number of screws, I deliberately didn't leave the box out on them because those screws are so small I could easily miss one, and like I said earlier, just pick that unit up and drag it across the screw. So now just You know, working on the bench is really good and working with a blanket's really good, but you do have to make sure that blanket's flat. Otherwise, working on it is actually really tricky. Just checking the side there, I've noticed there's a couple of patches. This is BB grade Birch Ply, which means it's B grade both sides. So what that means is you'll have some very good places, and sometimes they patch it. Well, so I'll put those patches up the top behind where the drawer goes. So just drill out using my lovely Hitachi gear. So I've drilled that in across the back. Now what I need to do is drill through the side. Those holes I'm drilling are already pre-drilled by the CNC. So what I'm doing now is the pilot drill. Right, so back on with the other feet. With these feet, what I'll do, I'll show you in a minute. I'll turn it around for the camera. With these feet, I'll cover the side panel, the base, and the back. So all of the pressure going down on this goes down directly onto the foot. I know these are only nylon plastic type of thing, but you know, like I said earlier, making that pressure, make it all connected. So all the stresses are covered, they cover each other. That's why knockdown fittings work. So if you're wondering how to build, you know, your IKEA furniture, it's the same principle. You know, you follow this principle, it'll be about exactly the same. You take one side, you fit all the components to one side, and you put the other side on. And then you do all your little bits, and away you go. So now I'm just going to run my hands over it. What I'm doing there is I'm checking for dents, defects, splinters, anything that could make that job not so brilliant. So that's the finished unit with the drawers in it. Using nice soft close drawer runners, and this is the other unit. I did show the construction of this. So I kind of like this effect, it's quite interesting. Watch it all go back in, absolutely perfect, spot on. Brilliant job. I hope you enjoyed watching the build. I know I really enjoyed building it, and I hope you've learned a few techniques, maybe observed a few things that I do. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, and stay safe in the workshop.